When an overwhelming problem enters our lives, we usually panic and lose hope. Always responding with faith and courage in the face of a challenge is hard for us to do, and it's mainly because we're naturally inclined to focus on the problem rather than on who is with us. This tendency paralyzes us with fear and deprives us of victory, which is actually readily available to us who belong to God. That is why it's imperative that we, as Christians, always remind ourselves of the wonderful promises of the Lord. Promises that tell us there is no reason to fear, only reasons to rejoice. If you're facing an overwhelming problem right now, these are the promises of God that you should remember and claim. Number 1. God's promise of compassion. In Exodus chapter 22, verse 27, God said, "When they cry out to me, I will hear, for I am compassionate." Many people think that God doesn't care about humans because He is wholly imperfect. Others even say that He only cares about punishing people for their sins. Those accusations, however, couldn't be farther from the truth. You see, God is loving. In fact, He's the only one capable of loving us unconditionally. That's why whenever you're facing a really challenging problem, do not assume that God is insensitive to what you're going through. Instead, call out to Him with hope, because out of His compassion, He will answer you. Number 2. God's promise of sovereignty. In Jeremiah chapter 22, verse 17, the Bible says that the Lord made the heavens and the earth with His great power, and that nothing is ever too hard for Him. Now, why is it essential to remind ourselves of this truth? It's essential because doing so will make us realize that God is worthy of our complete trust. You see, one of the reasons why some people do not go to God every time they're facing troubles is the misconception that He is not capable of changing their situations. But that is just not true. As the source and maker of all things, God can practically do anything that He wants. If He wants the sun to rise twice a day, then the sun will rise twice a day. Or if He wants the earth to stop spinning altogether, then the earth will stop spinning altogether. Nothing is impossible for our Maker. Finally, the third promise of God that we should hold onto in times of difficulty is His promise of blessings. This is what the Bible says in James chapter 1, verse 12. "Blessed are those who endure when they are tested. When they pass the test, they will receive the crown of life that is promised to those who love Him." The reason why God lets you face challenges is not because He wants you to suffer, but because He wants you to learn His life-giving precepts and to be prepared for the blessings that He's about to give you. Unlike what other people say, your sufferings are not for nothing. They serve a grand purpose. That's why when everything becomes overwhelming for you, just remember that your problems have an ending, and that at the end of your struggles, an immeasurable reward is waiting for you. Feeling discouraged and hopeless during a challenging time is normal. It's also okay to feel sad when everything is not going well in your life. However, do not forget that we have a Father in heaven who is not only caring and compassionate, but also powerful. The God we serve is more than willing and more than able to redeem us from whatever it is that we're going through. Therefore, we have a reason to remain joyful and hopeful in the face of our difficulties.